Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTBM News Leader 9, Midday. Sponsored by Montlick & Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Dee Armstrong, and this is Midday with Dee. Now, today's subject is a heavy subject. We're observing National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And although the numbers, they've been going down, if you've been hearing about that, there are still far too many happening every year. Now, here's a way to put it in perspective. Here's a disturbing comparison. Look at this. Take a look. The number of U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan and Iraq, 6,614. But then if you compare that to the number of women who were killed in the United States during that same period of time as those wars, look at the number, 11,766. And then remember, while most cases do involve women who are abused, some men are abused by women too. There are numbers that might surprise you too. The number of women in the U.S. who reported to police their partners were violent with them, that would be 1 in every 4. The number of men in the U.S. who report partner violence is 1 in 7. There is a domestic violence hotline, so while you're watching this, someone's going to come to mind that you feel may need to call that number. It will be on the screen. Write it down. Now, while we can have sympathy and empathy for victims of domestic violence, unless we have been a victim, we really can't say, I know how you feel, because really we don't know how they feel. And that's why so many survivors has decided that they're going to tell their stories. And joining us this afternoon is a survivor in every sense of the word and a thriver, absolutely beautiful, Kim Wright. She's flown in from Miami to spend this time with us today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It is absolutely, positively a miracle that you are alive. Let's start with your story. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Falling in love with the man that you thought of your dreams, huh?
Yes. His name was Lewin. That was my first husband. And what happened is that we met at a school, and he was extremely charming. He gave me a single red rose. And
oh, wow.
Yes, a single red rose. He kissed my hand. He called me darling. He was so loving and so caring. He'd open up the car door for me. He just would be so attentive.
They
so
call that
loving.
love bombing. I was doing a little research that a lot of times when people have ulterior motives, whether they're a narcissist or an abuser, they bring you in with everything they think that you want. They kind of read you a little bit and they say, this is a sweet woman. She wants a good man. I'm going to be that man. Huh?
He did it all and more. I never thought that he would be violent to me or to anyone else. Anything he would tell me to do, I would do. If he told me to jump, I'd say how high.
Because you loved him that much?
I loved him that much, and I trusted him that much.
Okay, so you meet him. How long was it before you decided to have kids? I have a couple of pictures of you and the kids too. So you see him, you say, this is it, this is the man, and then you start a family.
Yes, we started a family. I had my daughter Nia, my son Jay, and my little one Naja. We did. When I got pregnant with my daughter Nia, his mother came from Jamaica. And,
so he was Jamaican?
He was Jamaican. He was Jamaican. And when his mom came, he started to get very agitated and upset. And that's the first time I experienced violence from him. And he slapped me in the face while I was 9 months pregnant. And his mother.
I'm going to go back. You said that it really didn't start manifesting until his mother showed up on the scene. She says, I'm going to come and help you in your pregnancy. Did you link the two? Here's his mother, now he's changing?
I didn't. I didn't.
Wow. Later did you begin to see?
Yes, later I understood why.
Wow. So the mother is there, and did you have conversations with her?
After he slapped me in the face, the mother became very upset. She said he did not respect her. And she told me I must leave, and that is what the father did to her, and that's why she left him.
So he had seen, or maybe knew of, his father abusing his mother.
Yes.
And then the mother comes. And you told me earlier, too, in our conversation that she left the father, huh? And left the children with him.
And left the son with the father. Yes.
So do you think that was part of it? Because we're looking for red flags and then flags that have no color because you didn't see them. So this might have been a flag, but you didn't see it, that his mother represented something that he didn't like. Huh?
He didn't like.
She left me.
Yes, she left me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did she not know that her presence was conflicting to him, that that is my mother, I love my mom, but if she comes, it's, you know, I don't know if I can handle that emotion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So when she got there, was she anticipating anything in him? Because she had to know, I didn't raise him as a child. Now I'm coming into his life. What did she think was going to happen?
She thought it was going to be fine. She thought that she would help me with the child, and she thought we would be okay. But then she came and she saw how he acted, and she felt as though he didn't respect her, and she was upset. She was disappointed.
And we have initially, when we see something, you don't always turn and say, I'm going to leave. It takes a little bit more than that, huh?
Yeah.
So when she said, he's not respecting me, he's not respecting you, what did Kim tell Kim that made you stay?
Kim was still stuck on what he had did prior.
The love bombing.
That's
the point of it.
bombing.
Yes.
You are right. That love bombing was already entrenched in my mind, and it was stuck in there. And I felt as though I could love him enough to make him better.
Wow. And so because you had seen the other side, you thought, but the other side was, can I say it, a lie? The other side was fake.
It was
because
fake.
you can fake it till you make it. You can fake it for a while. Huh?
But it was entrenched already in my brain, more so than this bad behavior.
Yes. So, and we as women think, I can fix it.
Yeah.
If I show him enough love,
If I give him
cook
enough
this
love.
food, yes, if I'm here when he comes home,
Yes.
if I'm looking good, you know, all that's going to change.
Yeah.
He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it. But his mother had a different history, huh?
Yeah, she knew.
Okay, all right. When we come back, more of Kim's story. She survived and she thrived. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We'll be back.
Now from your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTVM meteorologist Tyler Allender.
Well, as we take a look at the muggy meter on this Tuesday, we are going to watch the mugginess kind of return as we head toward the afternoon hours, but especially Wednesday and Thursday. That will lead to some better rain opportunities for the middle part of the week before we dry out once again. Rain coverage today, nothing, but as we head toward Wednesday, especially during the afternoon and overnight hours, we'll start to see that better rain chance. It ends quickly on Thursday morning. A lot of us getting about a ½ an inch to 1 inch of rainfall. Here's our 9-day forecast. You notice the showers and even some storms the middle part of the week, but then cooler and drier after that, Dee.
And thanks so much, Tyler, and thank you for staying with us. It is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The number's going to be on your screen off and on. Write it down when you see it. And we're back with Kim Wright, a survivor, and I got to say a thriver after a horrible, almost unspeakable violence that was just unleashed on her. Let's go back to the day, or right before that. You first saw the violence with your husband when the mother came and he slapped you. Did it begin to escalate?
Yes, it did.
What happened?
What happened after that was that he became very controlling. He wanted to control where I went, what I wore, who I spoke with, and everything was just started to be extremely controlling.
When, at what point did you know this is not temporary, this is not fixable?
Once the violence started, then I knew.
Hitting?
Hitting, beating. He started hitting me first, and that would happen. And then he would say he was sorry, and we would have a nice period. Where he would take me and the children away and we'd have a nice time. But it would be a cycle of abuse. It would be a nice period again, and then it would start all over with the arguing and the escalating and then the physical abuse again.
Did you see something in the house triggering in it, or did you eventually see that that is in him? Something in him is triggering it.
It was in him. It was in him that was triggering.
Wow. So
nothing you could do, nothing you could say, nothing you could not do or not say that would please him. Nothing.
And you knew it was coming. What was the most frightened you ever were before the shooting? What does it feel like? You see this man, and their muscles are like 7 times stronger, I read, than ours, and he's coming at you with a fist. What in the world does a woman think when you see it's coming?
The most frightening was when one night I just hollered for help, 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 and there was no one there to help me. There was no one there to help.
And all of that comes together. There is no help.
There's no help.
There is no help. Oh my. So where are the children when he's being abusive?
When he's doing that, the children they're in their bedroom.
And they can hear it?
They can hear it.
Wow. You mentioned that he didn't want them to see it.
Right.
But he had to know they heard it. Huh?
Yes, they heard it.
Did he love his children?
He loved his children.
The best way he knew how to love them, because that is abuse, just them hearing it. What let you know that he did have a different kind of love for them? Because he didn't beat them, did he?
No, he never beat them. He never abused them. He made sure to take them to piano lessons. He took care of them. He sat there with them with their piano lessons and everything. But when it came to me, it was something totally different.
All right, let's move forward then. The day you had taken out a restraining order. And I wanted to ask this. You hear so many times that a mother, a wife has taken out a restraining order. Does it do anything? Because it is only effective if the person will obey it. If they don't obey it, they're coming, they just walk right back in the house, don't they?
Yes. What happened is that he took his gun and he pistol whipped me all night.
That means the gun is in his hand
The gun is in his hand, and he's beating me.
Wow.
In my arms, my legs, all over. I've run out of the house naked. And there's a gentleman out there in a car, and I flag down the car. And he lets me in, and he takes me to the hospital.
Wow.
He takes me to the hospital, and they take me to the shelter. The shelter takes me to the judge. They don't even take me in the front, they take me in the back because I'm so beat. They order the permanent restraining order against him.
Permanent
Restraining order against him. They said, you have the children, he's ordered out of the home, and you and the children stay in the home. They get him out of the home, they get me and the children back in the home. He starts stalking me, and what he does, that infuriates him.
That order.
That order. I give that order to his job, I give it to my job, I give it to, let everyone know.
If you see him.
Because I had had enough of everything at this point. I was so ashamed. I didn't tell anyone about anything, but now I told everyone. And this is when he broke into the home and said, you're getting these people on me, now you're going to die.
Oh my goodness. We're going to hold it right there. We're going to go to a commercial. The good part of it is we're looking at her. She survived. She survived. Surviving domestic violence. It's Kim Wright's story. What did she see? What does she have for other people? And here's another fact about domestic violence. The number of people who will be stalked, and she just mentioned that, in their lifetimes. 1 in 45 men, but only 1 in 12 women will be stalked.
And it makes them upset.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You see that number 1249? We're going to try to get out at 1257. So I made, this is so good. Oh gosh, girl, I'm holding back the tears. And we're back with Kim Wright, a survivor, a thriver. She's doing well. She survived domestic violence. She became a member of a domestic violence roundtable when she was living in Columbus. Take a look. These are pictures of Kim with her children now. They're adults. They're grown. These are friends. Kim, we have about 4.5 minutes now. What early signs? There's your daughter.
Yes.
Looks like a model. She's absolutely beautiful.
That's Nia.
Now, what early signs?
As my sons.
And go ahead.
That's domestic violence roundtable.
Uh-huh.
It's my brother.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the signs that when you're looking back now, because you couldn't see him then, that would have told you to listen to his mama? She said, leave, I should have left. What told you that you can see now that you should have left?
Yes. Once he hit me that first time, yes, I should have taken that serious and gotten some assistance from a counselor and gotten help. That is the first thing. The second thing is, if you know that you're in an abusive relationship or that you are in a controlling relationship or things that are not quite right, please seek help from a counselor or someone professional.
Because reasoning with yourself and counseling yourself is not a good idea.
It is not.
What about the children? They were small children. They're hearing mama getting beaten. Go through what happened when he shot you. We've got like 2 minutes. Oh, I wish we had an hour show.
I know.
Okay.
What happened to the children is, first they were displaced from me because I had to go through rehab and everything. Then we did get back together, but we had a court order for therapy, family therapy. So we were required to do therapy.
Were they in the house when he drags you in the closet and shot you?
My youngest son was in the closet with me.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And he saw it.
He was right there with his mom.
He was right there with his. What has been his adjustment and his mentality and his emotions? How did it affect him?
All of my children are doing well. They're all productive in society, but they all do suffer from some form of anxiety.
Wow. And so are they in constant in touch with counselors? And what do you do when you know that?
Yes, they are. They all have therapy as well as I do. You know, I am blind in one eye as a result, and I do suffer from depression and anxiety.
So how does one deal with that?
Well, first and foremost, I must say, Domestic Violence Roundtable has been a godsend for me. Any woman who has ever experienced domestic violence, that is the greatest support group that you could ever have.
Get a support group. Okay.
You can ever. It is a form of therapy.
Now there was one in Columbus. You're in Miami now. Are there other groups?
I am in Miami, and they do have one there also. So wherever you are, please find one.
Well, Kim, I tell you what, I'm going to give you a COVID hug. It's not even enough. I love you, girl. We met several years ago.
Yes,
and this story, I heard even some more details. Thank you for sharing your story and in order to encourage others. And there could be a book, maybe a movie coming out, okay, that will help folks. And thank you so much for staying with us and being with us. When we come back tomorrow, we have another Midday, a conversation with Naya Izumi. He's from Columbus and he's traveling the world making music. And yes, he did the Tiny Desk show. And anybody knows about that knows that's a big deal. So stay with us tomorrow on Midday Be Time.